Hi guys, so today's video is on how to achieve this look using GHD hair straighteners. You don't necessarily need to use GHD the brand. I personally think they're one of the best, so that is the brand that I tend to use. So yeah, if you want to see how I achieved this look, then please keep on watching. Okay, so let's actually take this down. It looks like some of it's already trying to pop out early. Oh, got an itchy head. So this is pretty much what we're working with here. So because I have recently gone lighter in my hair colour and my hair isn't as healthy as it used to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not too bad considering what I've actually done to it. So I'm just going to brush it through. When my hair is wet, I always go in with an oil. My favourite oil in the whole world is the Luxe Oil from Wella. So this is what this looks like. This is the 100ml bottle. I will find it and link it down below for which one it actually is, but this is the best oil ever. I have tried quite a few oils and this has always been the one that I've preferred the most. It smells so good. It's just really nice smelling. It's for keratin protection. It smells really good. It basically says apply 1 to 2 pumps. I usually do more, but that's just because I know my hair can take it. Distribute throughout the hair for the instant and lasting smoothness. Do not rinse out. That's it, pretty much. When I was a hairdresser, I did try a couple of oils out there, and this was always, I think pretty much the girls in the salon, we always tend to go for this one. We did use the Neil and Wolf one as well, but I think this was overall everybody's favourite, if I'm right in saying. I've tried other oils since hairdressing and I'll still always go back to this one because this one is the best. So normally I will just take a couple of pumps on my hand, run it through my fingers, and then I will just pop it through my midlength and ends. I won't really put it on my roots area, but I will bring it all the way up here, just to run through the ends a little bit. I do use more pumps than it actually says to use on the bottle itself. If you have fine hair and not a lot of it, or it's short, you know, use a pump, rub it through your hands, put a little bit through, like run it all through. If you feel like you can have more, then you put more on. I always tend to put some through when my hair is wet, and then once my hair is dried and styled, I will just go through with just a little bit and run it through my ends again, and it helps just to give that nice shine. If you obviously have a lot more hair than I do, then you pump away. Pump away till your heart's content. But obviously nobody wants it to look greasy, so just put it on so you'll know yourself really when you are applying it whether you've put too much on. If you're a bit conscious about your hair going greasy, just really focus it just on the ends. You can always tell more once it's dry how it will look. Not everybody puts oil on after they style their hair. Some people just like to dry it in or leave it to dry into the ends. So you don't have to do it. I just personally like to do that myself. Now I'm just going to dry my hair. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to blast dry my hair for the time being, just to take a bit of the excess water out, and then I will go in with a round brush just to style it that little bit more. Okay, so now that it is a lot more dry than it was, I'm going to go in now with a round brush. You can use any round brush at all that you want to use. If you can see with my hair, it is looking very frizzy. So basically by going over with your brush, it's just going to smooth it all out a lot more for yourself. So then when you do come to curl it, you've already got that smooth base that you're looking for. Because yes, straighteners and curling ones, they can help to make it look smoother, but it will just overall help it. What I tend to like to do with my hair is the underneath, I don't faff about trying to make it all nice and smooth and have root lifted, like, you know, like all bouncy and blow dried, that kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes I will put more effort in to do that, but when I'm just wanting to curl my hair, I just tend to merely blow dry this top section. This top section here, so just to get that bit of body into it and smooth it all out. I'm going to take the brush now and I'm going to start blow drying this top section here. So what I do like to do, you can see here that I am basically wrapping the brush underneath the hair to bring it up, and then it's underneath my actual hair itself, and then when I'm blow drying, the hair is all lying nicely and straight on the brush itself. I do just want to point out as well, oh, my hair did it, the style of round brush I'm using, the larger you go in brush, the smoother the hair will be. The smaller you go, it will give more like of a curly effect. If you have really long, thick hair, I personally would never suggest to go any smaller than this brush, just because I think most people will get it'll get tangled in their hair, it'll be harder to move about. I'd always start off with a bigger brush if you do have long hair, and then when you are going through, it is a lot smoother for you to, you know, move it about, where a small one will get tangled in your hair itself. Some people do like to put a nozzle on the end of the dryer. I personally don't, just because when I am changing angles, sometimes the nozzle isn't facing the right way that I want it. So I've always found in the past that I am constantly taking the nozzle off and then re-putting it back on, and obviously it's getting hot because the dryer is on, so it's just a constant faff that I personally can't be bothered with. So I do tend to just keep the nozzle off, and then I will be able to just move it around wherever I feel like it. Obviously, if you want it to be more controlled with the dryer, using a nozzle will be a lot easier for that. As well, if you can see, I am lifting my hair up at the roots, so it can just give that bit more of a bouncy blow dry look. Okay, so my hair is now a lot smoother than it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a bit puffier than it could be. Okay, so I am using the standard size GHD straighteners for this, so they look like this. I don't know if you could tell on camera, I did snap it by accident. I think I'd stood on it or dropped it, I did something with it. So I did glue it back together there, so if you can see it, just ignore that. So whilst they are just quickly heating up, I'm just going to section my hair. What I tend to do is I tend to bring both sections forward like this, and then I will just grab whatever section you fancy doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be super neat. You can just do what works for you, really. So I'm going to take about, yeah. This section here is fine for me, so I'll tend to do that at both sides of my hair. Okay, just one thing as well. I mean, it might sound like silly that I'm even saying this, but it happens because I know I do it sometimes. Make sure your hair is fully dry. If you can feel it where it's that smidge damp, even if it's like the tiniest thing, make sure it's dry before you go in with your, like, your heating tools, so your straighteners, your curling tongs, whatever it is that you're using. Make sure your hair is fully dry, because if it's not, that dampness is literally just going to take whatever work you've done, it's not going to hold it properly. So just make sure that you do fully dry your hair. If you're not if you think like, oh, it's dry, I always just quickly go back over it just to double check that it is fully dry. So that is just one thing just to make sure of. But going into the actual curling itself, okay, so whichever side I'm going to go at, I'll go at this one first. So I'll grab just a random section that's about this size. It doesn't necessarily matter too much what kind of size you go for. I just put my straighteners in, and then because I want it to go off my face, I will just clamp it, twist it back, grab this piece of hair, and then I will pull down, and then I will just tend to let it drop, and that's the kind of curl I got from there. If I want to keep this style of curl, when it's hot I will let it cool down. Once it's cooled down it will set into place. But because I don't want it that curly, I will just put my fingers through it just to loosen it up. And then that's the kind of, it's more of like a dropped wave then. I will just go in and do that to all the pieces on this hair, and I will again just carry on going backwards. The thicker the section that you do, so say if I decided to put all that into my straighteners, it will be a bigger, looser curl, as to if I went for a small piece, it would be a tighter curl. So as well, just bear that in mind when you are actually, if you do use straighteners for that, because that will determine what kind of curl you are going to get. So I will just put my fingers through just to loosen it all up. When I do get to the end of my hair, I do always fully brush it out anyways, so you will see that at the end. So now that I am on this side, so I'll do the exact same thing, but this time I'm going to go this way. So because I'm still wanting it off my face and to go backwards, this is the way that I will go. So then it is facing that way instead. Now I'm just going to do that through the whole of my hair. As well, one thing I do just want to point out, I'm not going in with my straightener this way and turning it like that, so it's not bending like straight back. It's basically going in on that angle and being curled on that angle. If you did it more straight like I just showed you, it would create more like a big curl and it doesn't sit the same. In my opinion, it wouldn't sit the same. Where because I'm doing it the way that I want it to fall, it will sit a lot nicer. So because I'm wanting it to go this way and sit this way as well, that's the way that it will turn out for me. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. So I'm going to go back in with my Luxe Oil. I'm literally just going to do like 2 pumps. And I'm just going to work that more on my ends. Don't get me wrong, if you do have healthy hair, you won't need that much oil. I'm putting probably extra on because since I have gone lighter, it has obviously gone a lot drier and it's not feeling as healthy as it used to. So I do feel like I can get away with just using that more than I would normally have done in the past when I had darker hair. So right, that's all that done in. So what I like to do now is, because I don't like it to look this like neat as such, I will just brush back on my parting and then give a really good brush through on my actual ends itself. Okay, so that is it. So if you are somebody that likes to use hairspray, now is the time. I personally hate using hairspray on my hair when it's just like this, just because I want it to be able to move about. I want to, you know, be able to just flip my hair without it feeling stiff. So yeah, that is it. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you in my next video. Bye!